Alright, welcome back to another episode of Art Time, where today we're going to be working on the third episode of Heavenly Deadland. Although the background is what we're working on, not the characters. I already got pretty much most of them taken care of. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Alright, so this one took ages to get to this frickin' point. It also didn't help that this damn job over here is just trying to do a whole bunch of 12s all of a sudden for some stupid reason outside of just someone out on surgery. But they can't just figure out a better solution that doesn't involve putting someone on 12s constantly. That's what I hate. My body's tired and sore, and I got a lot of shit that needs to be done. I might even have to move that one poster drawing idea I had in mind to a different day because I don't know if I'll be able to get it finished. On this month at least. But it's fine. We're getting this done with. We're also getting some other things done with that I couldn't record because of 12-hour Saturday nonsense. And didn't even matter because most of the frickin' line was down for the most part. Regardless, a lot of time wasted, but I can get some of this done with today. And when do I plan on posting this? I don't know, actually. Could post it tonight as in the Sunday of which I'm recording this, or I could be posting this Tuesday. We'll see. Because I only post this when the drawing is posted. And that means that I have to get the story written up, and that will take a while. Right now I gotta focus more so on, Tales of Asaria, recording the second episode of this week. Alongside, of course, Plate Up. I'm not sure when I plan on doing Game Crafters, but I gotta do it at some point before Wednesday. There isn't much I have left to do in that department. Also, I named this Self instead of Shelf somehow. Are you kidding me? Whatever, it's fine. Also, what are you doing? That didn't look like it was actually shading, but it was. What you doing, Cadillac? So there isn't too much left for me to take care of in this one. But we got a lot of new characters that's introduced in this episode. We're starting to bring out more of the characters of both sides. The Devil's side, or at least this particular group's side. And the Evangenesis side. The one where all the angels are kind of just uniformed. We got Daiki over here. His name was name dropped the last one. And I'm pretty proud of the way he looks here. Because when Shinichi calls him a freak, you think, oh, he's got to be some psychopath that even Shinichi would see as someone that's more freaky than he is. But no. No, his level of freakiness consists of a religious fanatic, basically. Obviously, because this entire series has a lot of religious undertones to it, despite being set in Japan, but I'm sure there are some extreme Christian groups in Japan that's of Japanese origins or whatever. If I remember correctly from a while ago from when I looked up, but I might not be remembering at all. Either way, the idea here was just to mimic Tokyo Ghoul. To an extent, obviously, with my own spin to it. And that's where we got that group from. So whether or not it's true or not, I don't know, do the research. I don't know too much about my own freaking country. I don't know anything. I prefer to live in the fantasy worlds that I create, even though this one is pretty morbid. This is a pretty morbid fantasy world, even though it's more mock-brain horror in that sense. But regardless, this is what we've got. This is the plot line that we've got. And now we're getting to see some of the devils and some of the angels. So I'd say, we have our own little spin on the reality that we have being played here. We don't need anything different or anything similar. So this group is Christian fanatics. So sure, why not? Let's go with that. Anyways, you see some familiar faces here. I mean, the only familiar faces you'll see are the ones in the Devil's group of Episode 1 and Episode 2. Got Yaiko over here. Now we get to see her full-on devil appearance and her casual outfit as opposed to the work outfit we first saw her in. And now we got Kohaku over here, who is less sad, but still pretty sad, and is drinking a box of juice, obviously, because childs cannot drink alcohol, even if they are a devil. And then, of course, you got Yuki over here, and Hifumi, and then Hanichi, Kantaro, Osuke. We got the 5 new devils here, who I don't know what their names are going to be just yet. And we got name-dropped Daiki up here. Assuming I'm saying that correctly, it's D-A-I-K-I. Daiki. Or, well, I just said it like that. The thing I was going to say, Daiki. And I was going to say, or it could be pronounced as Daiki. Like Yaiko, kind of. Very strange pronunciations in Japan, but I think I'm getting the hang of at least a small bit of it. Not like I fully know what all of these things mean. This apparently means of, and because Trouble Brewing didn't mesh well with the usual text you'd see in Japan, because what I did here was just have Heavenly and Deadland separate, and then it was just these two together, which probably looks weird in Japan, but maybe it's fine? Question mark. The other option is to just have several symbols back to back instead of having 4 big symbols, which makes it look much cooler and less big and, noisy. So the substitutions I had here was boiling and problems. And I think this meant boiling and this meant problems. I mean, I could just easily go on ahead, go to English to Japanese Google Translate, and this is all Google's doing. I am not going to be able to figure out how to do the thing I need to do. Problem boiling. And now I'll just go over to Google Images, put in the kanji as I copied. Yep. Yeah, so this is boiling, and this is problems, or what would be a substitute for trouble and a substitute for brewing. Which I guess is a nice little thing to have, because both trouble and brewing by themselves share several different symbols that don't look like this. They look more like this and more simplified, which I think might be fine, but I can't tell if there's I don't know, I don't know much about any other languages outside of English. I'm trying my best with this. But I am trying to make a Japanese-inspired series, so it's a good learning curve for me to figure out to an extent. Although, there's no way in hell I'm going to fully remember most of these. I do notice there is some kind of pattern when it comes to writing up certain kanji. These particular pattern seems to be somewhat frequent. That one doubled up here. Nothing here that I can recognize. But this particular pattern is pretty frequent. I just don't know how you would exactly read that. Read that in English, at least. I can't imagine trying to translate one language with a different one, and then that same language with another different one, say, for instance, for me, since Japanese is the one that's a little bit more confusing, you trying to translate Japanese to English, and then trying to translate Japanese to Spanish, or even Italian, so on and so forth. I only know of English, obviously. If you've seen what I've written and you've seen what I've done. So I'm hoping that Google Translate ain't doing me dirty, but you know what? It seems like it's been doing good so far. I had somebody in one of the drawings with the tie to twins character from, I forgot their name, Kusajin, I think? Question mark? I could probably just look it up real quick. I have them watched. There it is. Yeah, Kusajin. And when I looked up the translation, Google said they said thanks or something, or thanks. They said nice work or something. And then I just type in English thanks. They probably know what that means, right? Thanks seemed like a pretty simplistic thing that you would probably learn immediately in English language because it's meant to show, gratification. And if I remember correctly, Japanese culture consists of respect and gratification. And, well, it is a shame to say, American culture seems to be just fuck you just say or fuck you energy kind of deal. We're all so conflicted with each other, aren't we? But most Japanese, well, it depends, because their work environment is just simply dreadful. Worse than the places that I've worked at so far, and they have sucked. Actually, you know what? All basic jobs suck. Doesn't matter what the hell you're doing. If you don't like what you're doing, it's obviously gonna suck. But all the basic jobs suck. The company's trying to do stupid things. Have you ever heard? You hear about what the hell Unity is doing all of a sudden? Trying to freaking get you to give them money for downloads, which is stupid. Once you've reached a certain threshold in getting a certain amount of money from your download amounts, revenue amounts, and whatnot, you have to pay the developers of Unity money. Like, bitch, I can understand wanting a tiny bit of a cut in the revenue from us selling the games, but why downloads? And this is coming from somebody from EU, the previous CEO of EU, apparently, who was, I didn't even know this, who was trying to sell people magazines in-game to be able to continue shooting their guns in, like, PvP or some shit. That's the epitome of greed. Literal epitome of greed. I have not seen such bullshittery. One can only hope that that CEO somehow also gets fired from their position or fails upwards and out of the gaming space. And then they revert that stupid Unity, protocol. One can only hope, but who knows? Same thing with all the other companies that are trying to make, like, EA stuff work. I just realized something. There's no rail in the back end here. Ooh, unless I want to do... I was thinking maybe I could do, like, a nice little, a wall here or something. Yeah, kind of. It sucks, really. I wish they could probably try to... I wish somebody could do something to stop these companies with their greed and nonsense. It really is getting on everyone's nerves now, really. Maybe not the investors so much, so to speak, because they want to find ways to make even more money, and if that means fucking over those who are trying to use the product to create good things that people can enjoy, then they will, because they're greedy little shit stains as well. It's a lot of projection, probably, but I don't like what they're doing. Ooh, what if I made this glass, actually? Glass. There we go. Look at that glass. There's just a lot of problems in the world with freaking corporations trying to really take a stranglehold on all of those they find lesser than themselves. There's just one guy who, I can't remember his name. You can do the research. Just look up, I don't know, Avocado Toast CEO, maybe? Matter of fact, I'll look it up right now. Or Toast, man? Or Rich Man? Tim Gurner? Yes, that douche nozzle. Trying to freaking go out there and say, you need us, not the other way around. Give us all of your time so we can get all the money in the world and you get scraps. That's what it fucking feels like. That's what it feels like with all of these people who have way too much power and money. I wish it would stop. I don't care if the entire world's economy collapses and the value of a dollar goes to zero. If it means bringing these fools down and plunging the world into chaos, then so be it. We're getting to the point now where I feel like everyone's reaching a boiling point. All the rich people out there are getting sick and tired of, people wanting to have a life to live and not making them money. It's just very, very depressing. There's a lot more that I could try to say, but man, I don't want to go through that freaking self-conflict annoyance again. On top of all of that nonsense, there's just the AI stuff that's going on. It really feels like the world is, or at least most of the people in the world, are trying to remove any form of human creativity and heavily promoting working underneath somebody without any questions, becoming a simple little yes man to do whatever they want people to do. Even if they don't want to do it, even if they want to live a better, healthy life. That's what it feels like all of this AI is being put to use for at this point. It really does, doesn't it? With the strike going on and the companies trying to make it so that AI is the one that makes all the stuff. Some of them. There are those who are trying to prevent that. But those that want to make it so that there are some people who are forced to do like factory jobs or office jobs or shit like that they don't want to do without any form of creativity, and they'll just go on ahead, try to replace everything that's art-based with AI, whether it comes to actual art or music or TV shows, that kind of stuff, or even actors. They're trying everything within their powers to make it so that nobody can rise up to the top with them, and then they all have to be underneath them, working in their frickin' shitty jobs and factories and offices and whatnot. That's what it feels like. Not saying it's happening, at the very least not now. It might be something in the works if they're actually trying to go out of their way to do that to everyone. But it wouldn't surprise me if that happens. The entire world is filled with corrupt people. Like, okay, you heard of that 70s show, right? There's so many things in Hollywood that's just like inherently evil, and when you were young and you were watching all the shows, you were like, yeah, I like this show. I mean, these people are cool, like these characters. Then all of a sudden you find out, oh, they did a lot of shit, didn't they? Like, I've done some stupid things in the past myself, but not to the extent that these people have done. Jesus Christ. Like, started with Bill Cosby, or maybe not started with Bill Cosby, but that Bill Cosby was the first one that I had heard of that had some, allegations made to him about him and everything that he's done. And there was Drake Bell and Corey in the house, or in the prison. I will say the meme that came out of those two with frickin' "Oh, I'll never fall like I'll be," and the P word. I don't know how YouTube would handle the saying of that. Ah, yes, the penis. Today we're going to be talking about the penis. And the penis. Cat's in. I was going to bring the cat over in the box, but she's not in the box. She's sleeping on my blanket. But yes, no, as I was saying, freaking the meme of that, the song being switched up. And there was one for Chris Chan that was made where it was like, "My mom," in replace of underage girls in that song. And then there was Corey in the prison house where he's just rotating a bar of soap in his hands and then drops it. Like a bar of soap that's attached to a rope as he drops it and has a very funny face. Yeah, despite the horribleness that those two have done, I can't remember what Corey did. I think it was something to do with something similar to what Drake Bell did. But, yeah, no, it's still pretty freaking dark, regardless of that. that entire factoid and whatnot. And now here we are hearing about what's happening to the That 70s crew with the guy who had the scruffy hair, whose name I can't remember. I think the actor's name was like Diane something. I might be thinking about that wrong. And just looking it up. Dan. Yeah, Danny Masterson. I was right about the Dan part. That guy. Which, if it's just sad to hear that this stuff is occurring. And then apparently Ashton Kutcher is on the ropes for supposed murder, but I don't know much about that story. And there was also some pretty weird stuff with the fact that Mila Kunis was 15 when recording that series, or 14 actually. 14 was the number, not 15. Although she might have been 15 at some point, but started at 14. Yeah, it was pretty wild. The days of Hollywood that you unveil the curtains, you're like, wow, that's fucked up. Never did I think that things could get that fucked up. The good old days of thinking about being a Hollywood actor that most children had in like the 2000s. Now that social media is out and all of that is being aired. Nah, I don't know how many people want to go into the Hollywood business anymore. Yeah, there's so many things happening in the world that's just depressing. Twitter's freaking downfall, and now Unity, which hopefully will bounce back and the dumbass CEO gets removed from that, and then I don't have to worry about Paint Maze. Although it's not like I'm going to get like 200,000 downloads immediately, but that's... If I hit that point, that's over the course of who knows how long, which means that it would be pointless for me to freaking just give money to somebody at that point when I'm not even making that much within the span of like a year or so. Like, I can understand that Paint Maze probably won't get like millions of downloads. If it does, good. If it becomes the next YouTube sensation, good. But I'm not banking on that. I'm banking on it being like a good starter for game development and maybe getting my name out there, but I'm not banking on it being the break-all, end-all of this miserable chapter of my life. So I am hoping we can get to some level of normalcy with the whole Unity crap. And then there's apparently DeviantArt's going on ahead and like finally starting to crack down on all of their rules and stuff, which is great. Because there was a lot of things in DeviantArt that kind of fringed upon the rules. And I've tried my best to stick to characters who are canonically 18 and over in the series. So I'd like to think I've been doing a good job with sticking to those rules. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people that got their stuff banned because they've been doing nothing but drawing underage characters, and it's insane. They finally got to them, though. They finally did. So, hopefully that means that those particular kinds of characters no longer have to fall victim to that particular side of what you call it. And you've seen the characters that I have drawn. A lot of them are adults, obviously. Some are 18. I forgot which ones, though. I know there's Kim Possible, who has... Honestly, I don't know the entire debacle of Kim Possible, because it seems as though that it's implied she's 18 at the end of the series. Which, you know, makes sense. Graduating from high school, most of us were 18 when we graduated. Seeing someone you grow up with graduating high school as you graduate high school, pretty awesome. Though granted, I don't know if that happened in the same chronological order, because I don't know how old I was. I think I was probably in middle school, possibly. Actually, when did Kim Possible come out? 2002. What would that have been again? 1996 is when I was born. Jesus. Wait, is that only 8? So maybe I wasn't even in middle school. I was in like grade school or something when that series came out. And even as a grade schooler, I still had a slight crush on Kim. So, seeing that she is at the very least now 18 and graduated from high school and now becoming a full-on spy, like totally Spies Girls, it always feels great to see your cartoons crushes grow up with you. But, aside from that, what else was there? Well, there is Haruko, who's 19, but that's... I mean, I guess that's still technically in the quote-unquote teen levels, even though 18 is when you grow up and become an adult. Shinobu, she's 18, or was she 19? Regardless of the matter, we've drawn adults, and of course, characters who are 18 or 19. Ah, Damador is 19, of course. My own character. And of course there's May, who's 18. What's her name, May? Anne, Holly, yeah, May. So, aside from that, in the safer work department, I have drawn some underage characters that are like in wholesome drawings. Like, you've seen it before in the Art Time episodes with Fade hanging out with the girls of Class 1A. Got to see Fropping and her adorable little frog slippers. Invisible girl whose name I still struggle to remember somehow. Toru. And her... I don't know if she's in... I think she's just in normal short shirts. That's pretty much it. Being invisible, you can only really see the clothes. Then, of course... I mean, outside of that particular drawing, I've drawn Froppy and Peridot in the green team. Aside from that... Nezuko, of course. Which, I finished the 3rd season of Demon Slayer. And, my god, she was so fucking adorable. Oh my god. I can't express just how adorable Nezuko is. And she can finally talk now. And she's immune... spoilers, obviously. If you haven't seen Season 3, but I'm sure you know now that... Oh, he's saying Season 3 Demon Slayer is going to say something. She's immune to the sunlight now. And now she doesn't need the muzzle on anymore. And now she's adorable. She's still in the childlike state. And every time she speaks, it's just... My god. I thought they were going to do, like, normal speaking tone. But they just have her say, like, few words. I also like the scene where she has Tanjiro on her shoulder and hugging Nezuko with his freaking surprisingly handsome face. My god, you wouldn't expect to see a man looking like that beneath a mask like that. My god, whew. Man, he's a bit too muscular for my taste, but oh boy, that face though. Anywho's in wits. Yeah, just him telling Nezuko to run, and she's just like, run! She's so adorable. That was fun. Although, I don't know how much more is left with the series. We are getting very close. Which means there could potentially be some finalized instances, with them. What happened in My Hero Academia with several characters. I do have plans on having Luna go ahead and save both of them, actually. But not to put in too much spoilers for that one, since we're not talking about that one. I just fear for some of the characters. If you haven't seen Season 2, the Mugen Train arc, spoilers, one of the Hashira died, being the Flame Hashira. So obviously it makes me worried about all the others. That right there first set that the Hashira can and will most likely die at some point in the series. If not all of them, and I hope not all of them. Regardless, I still have Luna here to right the wrongs that occur. It's kind of similar to what I have planned for this particular series in general. Because again, the series is inspired off of Tokyo Ghoul. And with that in mind, there's going to be some things in here that a lot of people will be like, no! My favorite character! It's gonna suck, though. I don't know who, I don't know when, I don't know how. I have a general idea, and some of the ideas I'm like, do I really want to do that one, though? But a good story, in instances, has to have some sacrifices being made. But don't make it seem so cheap. Like, for instance, I finally got a chance to see the dubbed Attack on Titan's first part of the Season 4 finale movie and Knuckles featuring Dante from Devil May Cry, including Funky Mode. Like, come on, guys. I know you got a lot there to, like, adapt, but you could at least get it all done with in one fell swoop instead of just spreading it out between multiple different parts in the final season. Because I think now we would probably be in, what, Season 5 at this point? But it's fine. So if you haven't seen that particular hour-and-a-half long special, I guess you would call it, and spoilers, obviously. Hanji. I swear. Like, at least in the way of this, he was a badass. So it's not as depressing as what happened with Sasha, which now it's in the past because in my alternate timeline I have Luna who saved her. But my god. It's just... Gabby fucking sucks, first of all. She killed off a favorite character. She got the rumbling started immediately by shooting Aaron's decapitated head into Zeke's arms, or hands, or whatever. And we thought she redeemed herself by killing Flock, or what's his name? I'll call him Flock, because he flocks to a fucking genocide without any goddamn reasons or whatever to it. You thought he was dead? Nope. Turns out he assholed and somehow managed to frickin' shoot a tank and then force them to have to sacrifice somebody to get them to safety, which I find to be rather bullshit. He should have died. He should have dead. But he didn't dead. He somehow had plot armor. Some fucking background side antagonist had plot armor. Make no mistake, I will definitely have Luna save him, but only to punish him greatly. But I will also have Luna go out of her way to save Hanji, and she'll give Hanji what she wants, but without the whole death. It also is nice to see that, technically speaking, an afterlife in that universe is confirmed. So that means what Luna did by bringing Ymir back to life worked perfectly, because she was able to find Ymir's soul and then make a new physical body, and boom. So hey, it works in my favor at the cost of second favorite character having passed, which is fucking sucks. And now I worry for Peaks in Annie's life. I don't know about Mikasa. I'm sure Historia will be just fine because she is nowhere near the Axon. Don't know about Connie, Annie, or Annie. Did I say Annie? I said Annie. Don't know about Connie, Jean, Armin, and who else there? Levi. How could I forget Levi? I literally had Luna tease him, in a sense of looming over him. You've seen that episode, right? So he did more than just tease. Did I forget to shape this? I probably did. So regardless, it sucks, but I have a plan, and the drawing that's going to come out of it, it's going to look freaking badass. I probably also have Luna save the Indian kids, as well as all the Marleys, to try to, use as a means to stack up evidence of a certain thing that is occurring at some point to show that it's spoilers moments, at least for this particular series and what I have in mind. But I have plans in mind. Only to benefit Luna and what her plan is. Okay, let me shade this some more because this does not look like it's getting shaded in as much as it should be. Well, enough of that. At least we got to have a pretty cool finale for Demon Slayer Season 3. I did shade it in, it just doesn't look like it. I just wish that, I don't know. I can't say I wish some series would stop killing off my favorite characters. But, we'll see what happens in later seasons and whatnot. But for now, I should probably talk about all of the, devils in this particular series right here. So, you already have a general idea on most of the characters, but not fully yet because of certain things. There is going to be a scene of Yuki and Hifumi doing something very specific that a lot of people are going to like, and a lot of people are probably going to be like, ooh. Let's just say it has something to do with the words bug. To some people, that sounds like it would be terrible, but to others that know what I'm talking about, they're going to like it. I gotta open up the thing because I gotta look up what the textures look like for this keg and most of the other things here. I think it's simple as just, yeah, for at least that one, the counter, it looks like that. You can't see it, but that's fine. And this keg here does have lines in it, so I gotta remember to put the lines in this right here. But yeah, anyways, I don't know how much we're going through the characters and explaining their abilities right now. But you can probably see a few things occurring with some of the characters and the way they look. See how this guy's neck's a little bit longer and stretchier. Well, this devil right here has the ability to stretch out his limbs and whatnot. It basically, I don't know if this is going to be explained in this episode or not. I think it is. But he's going to be the son of that coleslaw finger devil. The one that Shinichi had killed off in the first episode. See, am I missing anything down here? Why is this lagging so much? I mean, I know there's a lot here. It's like, how big is the images again? 2970 in width and 4512 in height. Compared to the other one, which is like at, I don't know, somewhere around like 1,000 and 3,008 something or so. Yeah, it is kind of... it's slightly big, but mainly because of characters who have more details. Because, see, if this was at like a smaller level, then these lines would be even larger. Maybe not that large, but they would still be large. So yeah, he's a stretchy one. This guy with the headphones here, and if you look at the kanji here, well... the kanji's slightly cut off. Let me look around. Yeah, because this is Yuki's kanji. If you know what that is, you know what that is. I believe it means bug. This is Yaiko's kanji, which I believe is hair. You can see some of it. This is Osuke's kanji, which I think is force. I think this means force. Or at least one of it means force. This is Kentaro's kanji, which I think means muscles. And it works perfectly because it has K in it. So it kind of works perfectly with the way his name is spelled. K. And this one is the Sound Devil's kanji. I don't know what his name is yet. That should mean sound. And this is the Stretchy Devil's kanji, which I believe means stretchy or stretch. And this is the Double Devil's kanji, which I think means double, if I remember correctly. And that's him right here. We haven't seen these two here, but you have a general idea on what most of these devils do. Especially with this guy's eyes and the mouth being here and him covering his mouth. Environmental storytelling, ho! But yeah, he's basically able to duplicate his eye, mouth, limbs, that kind of stuff. But in a more grotesque and body horror kind of way. Think of him like the Nico Robin of the group. except he's more gruesome and grotesque. And the fact that he has to use his own body parts, and being a devil, he can just regenerate the body parts that he, let out to do the scouting thing. Like, he uses the eyes to scout, the mouth to kind of just relay information. No electronical disturbance, just pure, straight-up devil power. And essentially, he can kind of connect the body parts to someone, like he did with the mouth on Hanichi. Obviously, he would remove the mouth, since, he wouldn't want Hanichi's cover to be blown, because right now, nobody knows that Hanichi is the blood devil that Shinichi found during the raid with the diner, or the cafe. I think it was the cafe, right? I really need to keep a note on some of these things. I really freaking do. This one's probably going to be this. But yeah, he basically is just like, Nika Robin in that sense. Not calm, cool, and collective, though, like she is. And definitely not able to just create body parts, eyes, and mouths anywhere. He has to take it out of him and then have it walk around with, similar to what his eye is doing right here. It's not attached, the eye is just walking around. But it can be attached. And doing that stuff. And I guess he's kind of inspired off of Luffy in a sense because of the whole stretchy limbs instance. But, it does kind of make sense. We are kind of doing, we're pulling inspiration from several different anime. Tokyo Ghoul being the obvious inspiration, with Demon Slayer and the kanji eyes, and also just the unique eyes in general. You have characters with the eyes just looking basic like that, characters with eyes looking like this, my usual normal eyes that I do with most characters, and this guy's eye right here. You can tell this guy's not as important, and not that really this guy. These three seem like they're more major characters in the Angels playing field, while these two are just the side Angels. Because you gotta have some characters who aren't, massively important, who don't look that important. You got characters like this, the too serious one. As you can see, he has these things, and he has these things sticking out. Now, this is the Nail Devil. If you're questioning how the hell that kind of devil's power would even work in general, well, let me tell you, it's like the whole Westerner and Japanese power meme with bubblegum being the power. That what was it? The comic villain with bubblegum kind of just being I'll make bubblegum. My power is bubblegum. Ooh, stick bubblegum to your hat. And in Japanese is your lungs is now filled with bubblegum. So it's kind of similar in that regard, except what he does is his nails, or at least the white parts of his nails, which is usually the sharp parts, duplicates and spreads throughout each bit. So basically how his powers works is simple. He fires off a barrage of nails. It goes into your arm, and in a blink of an eye, a whole bunch more cuticles, white nails, tears through your arms and limbs and skin and flesh. And it is grotesque. Another thing that I want to try to do with this series a lot is to have a lot more body horror things. The first couple episodes didn't have too many of that because we're just starting off. We don't see too much of the devils and how they all work. Now we're getting more into the bits and pieces of the devils and the angels. So having it set up in a way to where we kind of just go on ahead and showcase these powers at around this particular point, I feel like is a good pacing option to have here to now finally, not just yet, but soon, get to the more grotesque story parts. You're probably not going to see it fully just yet, because I have very specific ideas in mind for what I want most of this to look like. But it's pretty easy and simple to imagine, oh hey, this guy just got shot by the nail bits of this devil's white, cuticle, whatever the hell this white stuff is called. Oh, now it's duplicating in the millions as it tears through his skin flesh and rips off the flesh from his arm and revealing his bones and veins and whatnot. And oh no, now he's bleeding to death, kind of deal. And then you got the Bone Devil over here, which power is freaking going to be so... What he does is he manipulates bone mass and can increase it as much as he wants. So he's able to have bone horns coming out of his skull. And because he's a devil, any damage done to his body is inconsequential. Especially if he has the horns as more of a decoration thing, kind of deal. Now, you could imagine that their kanji would probably be like nails or something. I would have to look more into what that would be since I haven't had him yet. And his would be bone. It seems pretty obvious that his kanji would be bone. Part of me kind of hopes that bone kanji is 2 symbols. Like Hifumi, who has 2 symbols. I kind of want him to have 2 symbols as well. Just because. Wait a minute. I should do these all first before I do anything else. So basically, if he gets close enough to somebody to be able to manipulate their bone mass, he can cause several bits of bone-like things to come out of you. Now, obviously, there has to be some limitation. Just because he manipulated your bone doesn't mean he can continue to manipulate it now. Because he's not manipulating his own bone mass. Now, if he were to chip off a piece of his bone and then toss it to one of these guys like, he does with his fingernails, then maybe. But there would obviously still be kind of limitations. Whatever power you have inside of your bone, same thing with the nail, would probably run out soon enough so you wouldn't be able to completely encompass somebody with all of that. So he would probably be able to toss one tiny bit of nail like so, and it will cover up all of that with a lot of this here being freaking penetrated with nails. There would be no way you'd be able to get that out of there. You'd probably bleed to death, but you'd probably die soon enough because if you're fighting up against these guys and you are an angel, or at least a part of the Evangenesis, you're gonna die. You don't have to worry about having a deformed arm because you're gonna die. It's as simple as that, really. So yeah, these devils here can be pretty goddamn horrifying in their powers, but there is still limitations. So he could probably get close to somebody, have like a bunch of their bones just out like that. If they can get out in time, then that's all that'll happen. But if they don't, their entire body is now one giant pile of sharp bones. They get turned into modern art. Hell, not even really modern art. They get turned into Stone Age art. Bones and nothing but bones, combined, merged together. Pretty horrifying, right? And, well, I feel like the sound devil's powers is pretty self-explanatory. I can go into more details and depth with what he does. He manipulates the sound around an area. So, if he can somehow get close enough to you, he can manipulate sounds. Which is pretty freaking dangerous when you think about it. Because, here's an example that he could probably make a very cool thing occur that would also be pretty grotesque. Is if you have somebody who is massively injured in some way, shape, or form, and they cannot stop crying or screaming in pain, he can double up the sound and have a massive feedback loop. So the more they scream, the louder the area gets surrounding them until explosion. Their heads blow up. That's how grotesque and powerful that particular power could be. chopped up with his ability to utilize his doubles to probably try to, because we don't really fully see it yet here, nor do I think we're going to see it, entirely. But he can disconnect certain parts of his body so where he can't feel anything from it. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to feel anything from it if he's, at a very specific distance, or, if he needs to ensure that he doesn't get stabbed in the eye if they see him out. He can hear, obviously, but he can disconnect that hearing and connect it to somebody that he wants to connect it to, even if it doesn't make any sense in the long run of things. But that's the thing about the devil powers. Wait a minute. The entirety of the devil's powers is meant to be pretty mysterious and inhumane. You're not going to really know how the hell any of their powers work on a scientific level. Think of it like divine interventions from either God or Satan. Because obviously you've got Takahiro, who utilizes an explosive sword, and you're questioning how the hell an explosive sword would work in theory. Torg approved, of course, but scientific means to be able to figure out a way to fight against the devils. It's pretty obvious that they would have some R&R kind of research in order to try to better equip angels and any other soldiers in the group to try to fight against people like this, who have way more power than normal people do. See, I don't remember if ghouls had too much in the way of any superpowers. I know they had, super strength and whatnot. And there's that one guy who could transform into a giant owl-like demon. So I'm kind of just taking the ghoul eyes aspect and mixing up the demon slayer's demon technique aspect to be able to create interesting and unique devils to be able to do things. Not to say we can't have interesting and unique humans, too, just like that one girl whose name I can't remember in episode 2, who had the ponytail, orange, golden hair. Daiki over here utilizes a jackhammer as a weapon. Which makes sense, because if your opponent utilizes essentially... or if your opponent essentially has only one weak spot in their heart, then you need to have a weapon that can destroy the heart entirely. And a jackhammer, whew, and his weapon might look a little bit confusing, but the idea here is basically simple. He grabs a hold of a handle at some point, flings it out. Wait, hold on. Because I think this might be slightly off. Because the idea here is to fling it out and basically have it end up here, to where here's the handle, here's the thing going down, locking to here, so the jackhammer can't move, like so. And then something probably right around here, going around where your hand would be, that connects to the weapon, like that. So you got the jackhammer's base here with the hammer here, this thing here that you have it back here like that, fling it out, kind of rotates it where the hammer goes. Well, no, it's more so, because there's a little thing here to allow for the handle here to kind of just, go through, around, and then locks into place. When you put it back in, it goes through the bottom part of that and you reconnect it again. There's a lot of R&D in this thing that I had in mind. This might be a bit too small, though, but it might more so just be that it's actually a bit more backwards, so the handle is here, and there's a thing up here, and then it goes around his hand to then have that lock onto here. So that way he has the hammer locked in, because obviously with an area like this, you're probably going to have your arm go through here multiple times. I put a lot of thought into this damn weapon here. He's going to be one of the major antagonists, like Shinichi is. So obviously, trying to figure out how his weapon works and how the hell it unsheaths and connects and locks into his arms is important. Because if he's going to be a major player in this here series, we need to make sure that his weapons make sense. But a jackhammer weapon looks pretty freaking badass. I bet you've never seen an anime character use a jackhammer weapon before. Who am I kidding? We've definitely seen somebody who's used a jackhammer weapon once before. I just don't know who, and I have not seen the anime yet. But you know what? Jackhammer weapon. If it hasn't been made yet, it's been made now. Anyways, yeah. I don't think I can use anything here. I'm going to switch back to the fog here then. And we got her, who uses a sniper. And we got him, who I think I have him as a berserker kind of character who can probably, like a tank, lift a car up above his head and toss it. And we got a scouter guy, which I think I might give him double dual daggers kind of thing. And you got this guy over here, who is a brawler, who uses his fist as a weapon. He's kind of doing... In the direction he's facing with his hand here, he's doing this. I know it's hard to see, but you can see the thumb there and the hand there. Only because of the position he's in. But it still looks cool. His hat was a bit smaller before, which made his head look weird, so I fixed that. I mean, you guys didn't see it, so obviously. Right, I'm trying to figure out what I plan on doing here. Because now we are in the effects process, but I feel like I'm missing something. I can't help but feel like we're missing something. Okay, we're almost an hour in. Not bad, though. So yeah, we'll probably do more with these characters at some point, but not too much in mind. Not just yet. There's still a lot of things I need to do. Do I need to do this right now? That's a good question. This is going to be the tricky part because everyone's like all over the place. I mean, with you, everyone's hidden behind your arms to make it so that we can have the background kind of just cut off naturally. The only thing I'm not entirely sure of how to do is to make this look more natural. I mean, have your arm out and then put that behind, but I don't know. I do kind of like being able to see most of your body, so it looks like you're imposing over the devils. Yeah, we're making progress with this series. And I do like the way it's all written out so far, with the kanji being shown and the break. The other series don't have the break instance. But yeah. Oh, and there's a very funny scene that I have in mind that I'm placing in this episode. Because obviously we're also following Shinichi and his partner. Let me just make sure I'm saying his partner's name right. I'll just go ahead and open up the thing. It was Takahiro, right? I believe so. Whoa. Let me just go over to the second episode, then the first episode, and then... yeah, Takahiro. Yep. There's also Masashi, I can't remember. But he's unimportant for the time being. Not to say he's not important, but for the time being, he is unimportant. Because the story right now is just focusing around this group, and Shinichi's group. I got a pretty messed up storyline for Takahiro in episode 4 that I'm not going to spoil right now. Just know that there's going to be something messed up there. Anyways, yeah. We're going to have a funny scene. That's what I was talking about before I got interrupted by myself. With Shinichi talking to Takahiro, going to the location that they were sent to in order to find a specific target. And who they're going to find is the gray-haired devil guy. The one with the giant scarf, whose name I also can't remember. I mean, I guess I technically could just back up, go to my swatches. Heavenly Deadland, characters. Masashi. Okay, I think his name was Muga Detoru. Mukadetore. Muga Detoru. The mysterious guy we didn't see too much of at the moment, of course. But, yeah. There's a very funny scene in mine, because I really wanted to, like, replicate this as well. Just the hilarity of it. It also is just a nice little love letter to the entire series of Tokyo Ghoul in general, if the ghoul eyes weren't enough to, like, showcase that. And you can see some of them do have slightly different eyes, with the way most of it is, like, different shades of red. You even got, like, Kentaro with the blue-colored kanji, and this guy over here with the gold-colored kanji. But I had this scene where I think I have a name in mind for him to shout out, but it's supposed to replicate that Jason scene with whoever that one antagonist was. It's funny, I had him kind of referencing that one particular character, but he doesn't have the same voice actor as him, being Caesar Clown in the dub instance at least. And he has a bit more of a crazy look to him. I don't even remember what he looks like. I gotta look him up. I mean, I could probably just look up the Tokyo Ghoul Jason. But it's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't even remember what he looked like. What did he look like? Oh yeah, he wore a Jason mask. Okay, what does that guy look like? Give me the Jason. Where is it? I know he said it. You can't just Mandela effect me here. Where is that scene? You're just showing me the man, Jason. I'm not seeing the man who says it. You are a fool. I don't even know who this Jason guy was. I can't remember. Was he the one who did the centipede scene? Oh god, if he is, that is well, spoilers. I'm not going to say it right now, because it's spoilers to my series, not this one. God dang it, you failed me. You're not giving me what I need. I can't believe it. I could just look up characters. There's so many characters here, I barely even remember who the hell I'm supposed to be looking at. Because he literally looks like his own character, Shinichi does. I didn't even look up any references to the other character. I just went with my own design idea. Man, there are so many characters, I don't even know who the fuck I'm looking for. Who am I looking for? Like, damn it. Whatever. I don't have time to be messing around with this. We got our own character designs to work with. We don't need to copy off of another series 100%. We're here to gather inspiration from it, not to gather copies for it. And you also got me freaking getting inspiration from One Piece here, so really the series is just getting inspirations from every freaking series. Nothing is really truly original. Everything is inspired off of one thing or another. And I still find it hilarious that while technically speaking, you would think that Elementals Reborn is inspired off of Fairy Tail, but in truth it is inspired off of Black Clover, which in that series aspect is inspired off of Fairy Tail. And it's also kind of hilarious to think that, technically speaking, Natsu in the beginning has yet to slay a dragon. But in, like, the first arc of Elementals Reborn, we have Gwyneth over here slaying a dragon. And even being a plot point for her to get into Bryn Dragonia's kingdom in order to, like, continue the quest and to help Alistair out with his problems of the magma crab, the man caves. And most of you probably aren't even following along if you don't read the Elementals Reborn series. But my point still stands. While I had no inspiration from fairy tales from the beginning of the series, I still somehow ended up having Gwyneth kill her first dragon while Natsu is still fumbling to kill his own first dragon. Not to say I think Gwyneth can kill off Agrologia, or whatever the fuck his name was. At least not in this particular season. She might be able to in later season. Same with how Natsu might be able to in later season too. But we've only just recently got to the 5th round of the Magic Games arc. So we're going to see. Regardless, Gwyneth got the first dragon kill in, like, very quickly, immediately in the series. Natsu is building up to it 100 episodes past. So if anything, she can hold that over his head, even though the most likely series that would cross over to at any point in time would be Black Clover. I can definitely see at least a few characters in Black Clover getting along with most of the main cast, and, you know, with Gwyneth getting along with Magna, I think that's how you say his name. So I got Magda on the list, but I can't remember who Magda was. Was that Gwyneth's mother? Or was that the other guy? Did I call him Magnus? Or Magnus? I can't remember. I do have a list of the characters' spells, but I only have, like... I don't even have Mary Beth on there because he didn't even say any of her spells yet. But yeah, her going with the fire guy, fire baseball guy, and also Asta because main character stuff and whatnot. Gwyneth getting along with Ariella getting along with Noelle, both being water mages. And probably Vanessa, probably. I mean, I could definitely see at least Ariella flirting with Vanessa, you know, with her being bi and all. Or no, pan, technically. Gwyneth's the one who's bi. Ariella doesn't really care what gender you are, so long as she finds you attractive, she will make her move. Genthru probably would be getting along with Yami and Gordon, because, you know, Yami being a respectable man and Gordon being, of course, poison elemental, he would share at least some affinity with him. And then Damador with the electric guy, whose name I can't remember sometimes. Was it Luck? I can't remember. It's been so long. It sucks that I can't remember all the characters. I'm not even entirely too sure what characters I can see the Elementals Reborn crew, like, fully, like, all of them. I could definitely see Gwyneth getting along with Natsu in the Fairy Tail universe. Obviously, we're switching over to that. Ariella with who? It's hard to say. I don't know when a crossover event would occur in the timeline, because right now they're still teenagers. They're obviously going to get older as the series goes on. I just don't know when the crossover event would occur. Or what the reasons behind it would be. Is that everybody here? Seems like it. It could be a sense of Ariella getting along with Juvia, but also if we're in, like, the timeline where there are adults, he would probably also flirt with Gray, and then there would be some little bits of conflict. There is a sand guy, I can't remember his name, though. Now, I could definitely see Genthru getting along with Urza, primarily because Genthru's a man of armor, Urza's a woman of armor. They both wear armor, although Genthru mostly wears armor because he's a paladin, and he's basically used to that armor. The armor is like his second skin. And as for Damodara, good question. Yeah, there is Loxus, another lightning guy. Interesting to think, really. We're talking about characters who are basically just not fully main characters, like a part of the main character group. If you don't count, like, if you don't count this particular round of the game arcs where they have two of the main characters with the, I mean, I guess now with the whole Dragon Slayer stuff, Wendy and Gagio are starting to become more main characters now. You get more characters being added into the roster, and they have to, like, look after and whatnot. Isn't that right, Momo? Who's asleep right now? But yeah, that's basically all I can really think of on the characters getting along. I could definitely see, at the very least, you know, Natsu and Gwyneth getting along quite well because of their affinity for fire. And also, definitely Urza and Genthru for the fact that those two have way more respect for certain things. Even though, Urza has some moments where she lets loose, like she freaking cart rides on barrels or something. Genthru, I'm not sure. Genthru is a more serious character, but he did have some pretty... whoops, I'm in here. I should probably bring that to 100. He did have some pretty hilarious moments with the Queen involved. Yes, indeed. So he can be funny. We just have to have certain things to build up that hilarity. Alright, let's see. I definitely do like the kind of episodic thing we've got going on in Elementals Reborn. The only thing that's a pain to do is for certain scenes that feel like they would do good with 2 episodes, I have to try to condense to 1. Which kind of sucks. Like, I definitely could have probably made a 2-episode arc with the Fatal Love Triangle. But it's fine as is. We're about to get into a pretty cool episode soon, which will have the first showing of the Elementals, or at least one of them. And then, of course, we got another cool one coming up soon. It's going to be cliffhanger, though, unfortunately, but don't worry, it's only a 2-month cliffhanger, as opposed to most other series, which will take ages. Unless I were to somehow end up dying before I can get to that, but I feel like I am in good health. Unless this job decides to do more annoying 12 hours, I should be fine enough to be able to get to that cliffhanger and close it off before anybody's like, no! Another series I got into that ended on a cliffhanger. Damn it. Yep. I would definitely want to try to, if there were to ever be something made of it, animated form, I would definitely try to retroactively make sure that all 24 episodes come out one after another on a weekly instance, so we don't have to worry about cliffhangers in that department. I mean, it's like what Jujutsu Kaisen is doing right now. Most series isn't really fully going out of their way to have, over a lot of episodes per season. Because this season of Demon Slayer was only 11 episodes. Apparently, Jujutsu Kaisen right now is, 23. Let me double check real quick to see what... Because I think Season 1 had 25 episodes. Let me just go over here real quick. No, 24. Regardless, they say that 23 episodes are coming out. Which is strange that it's only 23, but I guess that's fine. Compared to all the other ones that are just so freaking short. And minus the, obvious Fairy Tail, Inuyasha, Black Clover, One Piece, Naruto, where they're basically just hundreds of episodes. And Hunter x Hunter, can't forget about that. That also had hundreds of episodes. Wasn't Spy X Family also in a 25 or 24 episode range? Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of that was 25. Well, I'm going to look it up. Good thing I don't even have to type it in, because I have it right here. Wait. Right here. Show it. No. Yeah, Season 1, Episode 25. It says it right here. So yeah, that's what I remember. Those particular anime that have a long-running 24 episodes or 25. That's kind of what I'm sticking with these particular series. And what I'm trying to do by limiting them to 25-minute read-and-imagines. Sometimes they go over, sometimes they might fall a tiny bit short, but if they fall a tiny bit short, I can at least add in a little bit more scenes and dialogues to it. With this series, though, I feel like I have a really specific task going into most of these episodes now. I haven't had scenes or instances here where I had to worry about, trying to end something quickly or sooner or something. I had the fight with Hanichi and Juno-sama, or Yuno-sama. Yeah, I want to try to make his J silent, so his name is more Yuno. Because Juno sounds too close to what we have right now with Juno Hana, but Juno Hana's nickname was mostly Hana. Obviously. that would make the most sense to shorten and give her the nickname of Hana. You know. Makes sense in that regards. Whoopsis. And if you can tell, this is the Red Light District. But it's daytime right now. Obviously, they would be going out of their way to try to find these devils during the daytime. In the second episode, it exclaims that, you know, devils are slightly nerfed during day. Which I think is a good call to have. Fog. Oh, yeah, that's going to be interesting. I got 2 different types of fogs here. I need a red fog for the bottom. That is too much. Might work for that. Now I need a good... either a yellow fog or a blue fog. Yeah, that works. I'll do this. And I'll do this. I want to have like a nice yellow glow happening around them to showcase the heavenly aspects of these particular characters up here. A man of God, you say, huh? He's definitely a more fanatic character within the Evangenesis. And that one could probably be more orange. Well, more orange, but delete some of it down there so that this part stays mostly orange. So that should be fine. Let me see if yellow works best here. Yellow or light blue? Ooh, light blue works better. Okay, do this, put in the light blue. Make sure the orange here is shown more. And let's delete some of this. I think most of this is kind of hidden by most of the decoration of the booths and that here. Now the question remains. Actually, yeah, that is a good question. Why the hell did I have it set up like this? That would mean I'll have to move everything where it needs to be moved to. Guffaw! Maybe I can make this work. Actually, wait, what the hell am I doing? I could just move 2. There's not a lot of things in 2. Wait, no. Wait? Yes? No? You say yes, I say no. Moving 2 would do nothing. It's 1 that I gotta move. God fucking damn it. That's assuming I want the fog to be relatively even looking. Oh, where am I? Here I am. Wait, no. What am I doing? 4 is up top. I can just move 2. I need to move 2 up top. That's what I need to do. Because 3 is back there. So I just gotta move 2 above 3. A lot of layer stuff you can't see in the background, don't worry. Alright. There's only like 4 layers in 2. I can make this work. And that should take care. Oops. I don't know what that did. Oh, I just made that right. This should be fine, right? Yes, it is. Okay, now I can put the fog in. Question is, what kind of fog? Another one of that? Yeah, that works. I gotta do a lot of effect things here as soon as I'm done with basic lighting effects. Lighting. I mean, at the rate we go with most of this, it would only take like, what, 2.5 years to like make all of this? Or 2 years and 8 months. Which I guess there is a way I could probably try to like make it go by faster if we were to have each and every one of these come out an episode a month. Although that's a little bit more harder to do with all the time I don't have. Which sucks, because I want more time. More time would be great, wouldn't it? Alright, we're going to have a nice bright sunlight here. We're probably also going to have a nice bright light surrounding most of the characters up down here. Now I just need some simple sun particles to fill up most of this area up here. Well, I'd say this is just a slow and arduous process regardless. And it's good to try to mix and match things up. I just gotta make sure that I have a list and figure out where things need to go. What I need to do, what I haven't done yet. I really should be making that list. Because keeping things relatively simplistic and looking good is a great idea. If you have everything just going by the skin of your teeth and you're forgetting some important tidbits that you gotta save, and that's not good. I'm doing good remembering most of them, but not all of them. Like the idea I had by having the fire elemental in episode 9 show its face, or her face. Technically it doesn't have a gender because it's an elemental made of magic. Not a golem, nothing like that. Nobody knows what that is. And that shall remain a mystery, because I don't really fully know what they are yet. Or do I? You'll just have to wait and see when the time comes. But, yeah, that's basically what we have in mind. Just to have some stuff listed off where it needs to be. Oh yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to talk about that I didn't really get to talk about. I think the reason why I'm having an easier time trying to pace out these episodes right now is because everything kind of flows in a very specific format. We have the introductions to, devils and angels and the groups therefore. We showed off one of the characters dying, showed off the main character having unlocked the power they didn't know they had. And then showed off some scenes with, a couple of the angels conversing, doing whatever. And as well as Honichi on his date. Did I say Shinichi before? I can't remember. My brain is fried because I'm so fucking tired. Even though I got 8 hours of sleep. 12 hours last night definitely didn't fucking help me, that's for certain. Sleep is all off because I having to try to go to sleep early and wake up early. So it's like 12 hours to be made immoral, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We're talking about more important things that don't involve annoying work. But we had an idea what we wanted to do there. I think because of the way everything is set here, nothing is episodic. Because right now, Elementals Reborn is kind of episodic. Nova Guardians is somewhat episodic, but it has an overarching plot that's occurring in the background with the company itself. We're getting to know more about the characters, both Vanessa's group and all the other groups. So yes, I guess I could say that we do have some episodic nature in Nova Guardians, but we haven't gotten to the major plot points yet. But this one doesn't have episodic instances. It's a series that's on the rails, has its own story to tell. One major story to tell. Story about devils fighting against angels. Story about those who are perceived bad trying to live a life of peace and happiness, but cannot because there's a group always constantly trying to kill them. I don't know why I did that, you can't see that. And that's what I like about this particular series right here. I don't know if that was what Tokyo Ghoul's main message was, because I do remember the ghouls trying to get by and learn how to live by feeding off of the suicide victims. I didn't want to have a complete 1-for-1 copy, so I had the devils be more so just, religious aspects. A bunch of fanatic Christians who are trying to eradicate a bunch of devils that they deemed bad. I guess that's really just the main point of this particular series. Religion isn't entirely good. And if you use that as a one-for-one reference for your own morals and you need that as a reason to do good things, then it's not good. If you're trying to go out of your way to hurt those that you perceive to be bad, but really they're just living their lives and having fun doing what they want to do, then that's bad. The entire point, I guess, of this plot line is some angels are bad, but some are good. Some are just doing their own thing. And it's not also to say that all the devils are good. No, there are some that are bad. We don't see them just yet, but there are reasons behind it. You'll see soon enough. I have like a group in mind. Like I said, inspired off of Tokyo Ghoul. The group is going to be different, obviously, from the group in that series that I think mostly came more so towards the end of Season 1, was it? But regardless of the fact, similar plots, different story, different characters, different writer, different creator. That's what I'm trying to work towards here, and I think I'm doing pretty decent. Let's see, what am I missing now? I need some cloud effects in the background. Whoops. Blech. I might need to switch on over to... This is assuming if you are the one who has that swatch. Are you the one that has that swatch? Doesn't look like it, no. If you were to have that swatch, you would have it. Unless you're the one who had it. Hifumi Hiroku. Who the hell was Hiroku again? Wait, why was Hifumi there then? Because I don't remember drawing. Oh, wait, never mind. I'm looking at the wrong one. And I'm looking at the wrong name. It's Hiyomi? Ah, for crying out loud. Why are Japanese names so hard for me to remember? Some of them I have no problem. But there are some... I mean, I guess it's because I've been thinking about those characters more than I had the others. Like Saitomi, right? Who was Saitomi again? I think she was... Wings. Yeah, she was the one with the hammer and nail weapon. And that would mean that Suzume was the girl same age as Yuno Samu. I'm trying to... Yeah, there it is. So many names. Oh, right, the clouds. I forgot I was doing clouds. I need clouds. Not clouds, I need, like, dust. I'll need dust. Give me some dust. But not really dust. Let's try to be a little bit more cautious with how we get the dust clouds in. Get dust clouds in the front. Take me above Kentaro. Oops. Oh yeah, Kentaro makes the most sense. Ken. All that. Probably should just call that dust and not cloud so we don't get confused, even though it doesn't really matter that much. Put some dust around here. I could probably go on ahead over the Bone Devil and we can get dust there. So that we can cover up most of the back end here. It's less about it being dust and more like steamed. Like a little mist laying on the floor to make the area look cool. Has any place ever really had mist on the floor just to make it look kind of cool? Because if they don't, they should. I'll just have this one be called Angel Light. I should probably swap on back over to the utilities and the lighting department. So many characters. I mean, it does make sense for us to have so many characters for this, right? For one reason, and one reason only. Is because the fact that the entirety of that series also had a bunch of characters in it too. So we're going to have a bunch of characters in this one as well, but not too many. I mean, if you're making a series, you have to have at least a decent amount of characters to work with. You've seen Nova Guardians with all that we have in that one particular group. We're going to have like a nice bright light going around most of you guys, but I don't think it's going to be at 100. I'm just getting like a nice feel of where it should be. Vivid light? Oh, vivid light would look cool though. If I put it at like a solid 70, yeah. If I had another angel light, but this one we make overlay, and have this at like a 50, then we can go on ahead and have angel particles. More like flares, but, you know. What are you doing, cat? You licking yourself? Wow. Not gonna go over to me? What are you snuffing at me for? Oh, say hi to the audience. Man, this cat really don't like being held. Why don't you like being held, Momo? I just want to hold you. Hold you like a little baby. You give me that look for. Out of whack. I don't know if you can hear her purring. Well, you can't hear it on the mic, but you could probably hear it as I speak. Right, Moo? Moo and your freaking sharp dozens of claws. Why you got so many claws? You see her nudging me? Yep. Alright, let's see. What were we talking about again? I can't really fully remember. Some more sparkles. Part of me can't wait for that one series I have in mind that's inspired off of Made in Abyss. It's going to be a pretty psychologically damaging series. Oh, because trust me, I have some things in mind. Oof. I have some things in mind that are just very psychologically damaging. You can't even begin to fathom just how psychologically damaging that series is going to be. Is it going to be as damaging as Made in Abyss? Who knows? The opinions of those are the ones that will determine whether or not it is. But to say the least, oh, I probably should go ahead and get some dust particles in here as well. I'll have them be different. But to say the least, it is definitely going to be pretty traumatizing for those who are not prepared for it. I wish I could say more about it, but I want to hold off on it so that y'alls are surprised for its arrival, and you're surprised about what happened. Oh, the cat has making a fish now. She's licking her fish. She's like doing this. Nope, now she's open palmed. And all these damn scratches because you don't like being held. Well, it's not that much. It's like a little red mark and all. Don't know if you can see that, but I'm too busy. Should that be vivid lighting? No. Let's give me... Okay, hold on. Let me put this down. Overlay. Soft, hard, vivid, linear. Pin? I guess pin lighting could work. You can't see anything, so that's a problem. Alright, hold on. Let me adjust some things here a little bit. Maybe overlay now will work. Kind of. I could probably put it like a solid 50 so it's like not going that hard. Or I delete the ones that are too hard. Let's go over to the dust 1B. Put in an excess. Well, actually, putting this behind the dust particle probably makes the most, or putting this behind the dust probably makes the most sense. God damn it. Dust particle. Now we probably have it at 100. It'll be fine. God damn it. I really wish this would select it as I am moving it, so I don't have to, like, click it and then hold it. Whatever, it's fine. Oh, wait, no, you don't need to be that. You can be 100 now because, wait, do you? Oh, no, you gotta be overlay as well. I think, right? Yes. Am I right in that judgment? Yep, overlay 100. And where are you? There you are. Dust 1C, overlay 100. And then we put it at like 50, so it's smaller. And after that, well, I guess we could work on the effects and then try to get the lines in. Or we can try to get the lines in now. Don't see why not. Lines, lines, lines. Maybe less lines around most of the bared skin bits. Line, line. I think it was like overlay, was it not? No, what you doing, son? Stop it. What you doing? The hell are you licking? You're licking a piece of fuzz, you fool. Boom. I just booped your snoot with it. Line here, line going across here. This one's interesting because this is the one of the more, well, no, there's, episode 2 is also still pretty freaking bright, with at least a few scenes. And it still had a line going through it. So regardless, there was still a line. It was just, you know, doing its own thing. And I guess an overlay of either 50 black or just straight up overlay. It was either an overlay or it was just 50% opacity. I don't quite remember. Either way, it doesn't really matter too much. I'm just glad to draw Yuki again. Alright, let's see. Yeah. Did everything get... Where's my mouse? There it is. Did everything get done? Good, great. Okay, it was either overlay or 50. Or both. Judging by this one, it does seem to be kind of both. Yeah, kind of. On the surface, it does look like a bunch of black lines going down the entire area. Looking in closer, you can see some of the black lines just all over where they need to be. So wondering if I should do this. Want it to be even, or do I want it to be uneven? Whoopsis. Alright. Now one more. Okay. Now with a little bit more inward, so all the spaces get used. We go over to this, reduce that to that, reduce or increase this to that. Let's go over to the counter, and 1, 2, 3. Something like that. Okay, for a second there, it does that sometimes, and I don't know why. And now, wait, hold on. No, also I should probably switch this back to circle. No, it doesn't matter. I do kind of also want to do some lines here. No, don't do that now. Keep it relatively even. Doesn't have to all be even. Just have it be a bunch of wood pieces. Think about doing their thing. Go over to the floor. Now let's see if it did the thing. Another cool trick. Did you do the thing? Okay, for a second there, I thought you didn't do the thing. Another cool trick you could do is have like it be boxes instead, and have like lines in between and make it look like planks. But I want this one to just be straight wood across the entire floor. No seams whatsoever. Okay, now we can finish on the final touch, or work on the final touches. I think we've done everything here that we can do. I just gotta like reduce everything. Reduce the effects for now so I can look back and reduce all that needs to be reduced. Well, so far so good. It's almost 2 hours though. Glad we're getting this done with though. Orange area. Now we just gotta go over to my effects. Grab what needs to be grabbed. Bring this also back to that. And hell, I don't know. Orange area. What does this look like? Might be a bit too orange. That could work. And a nice pink area or magenta area. Magenta or red. Either one works. Doesn't really fully matter. As long as it has a nice reddish tone to it. How about this? That seems too pink. What about this? A darker red. And darker red's too much. A duller red? I mean, this kind of works to an extent. I just need to remove bits and pieces of the red around this character and most of the light that surrounds him. And to even out all of the intense reds and orange, I shall go on ahead and put a teal area in here. Which I think looks pretty cool. Having a nice little teal area. I might do more with that area, but let's focus on the angel sides now. I mean, considering the fact that we're just adding in the 5 new devils here, and we have some of the others in the previous episode to be shown. Because originally I thought maybe I could have like Shinichi here, and then the other guy here, the gray-haired guy here, looking overhead. But I felt like that would have been too much when we already have so much here to begin with. And nice yellow ray shining down upon the nice light orange area as well. Now we do a little bit of, this and a little bit of this. Also notice how the kanjis here right now are differently glowing compared to the last one. The last one, the kanjis were just kind of, there. Surrounded by, like, the city-esque background and the smoke that comes from the back area showing, certain things that occur. This one's showing it all being glowing. And then we have flares here surrounding that. Problems of boiling or trouble brewing. Because apparently trouble brewing doesn't have any complex characters like this. That's what I want to try to stick to. If there's any way I can have characters like this looking like this throughout the entirety of the series, then yes, I'm going to try to do that. Even if the name gets slightly changed because of it. Still the same thing. Brewing, boiling, problems, trouble. Everything shares a simile or a synonym. But it's all said differently. Although there is another set of characters for the other thing, but it still doesn't change the fact that, you know, it wouldn't have worked regardless if we tried boiling, or brewing, I mean. Might be butchered, you might be doing good. I have no way of knowing because I don't get enough feedback. I make a lot of things, but people don't give feedback. I wonder if I should have some of the blue kind of go over your hair and eyes. Mayhaps. Probably. Light purple area. I think we'll probably get some light purple to kind of balance out both areas a little bit. And light purple up here and a little bit of light purple here. Which also complements the orangish red magenta color we've got, so it's not all, what do you call it? As you can see. Gets a nice little cool back color going to this area here. It could work. I do like the way that looks, actually. So yeah, I'll do that. See some areas slightly tealed. I guess we could just go to the sepia now, actually. I can't really think of any other thing I need to do in the effects department, so let's just move over to the last touch. Alright, let's see. Too bright. Could work, actually. If I can make it less yellow. That could also work. Let me put that in reserve real quick. Too bright. Too orangish. Nah, how about this one? Oh, that could work too. Yeah, that works. What about this one? Gotta try to get a good look for this area down here. Is there a nice bright pink magenta color I can use, but not too pink? I mean, I could technically just make the color I need. I could use teal. Brighter teal. Even brighter teal. How about red? Dull red. Too dark. This red? I'm looking here, by the way, if you don't know. Is there a blue I can use that might work? Like, that could work if it made it a little bit brighter. A bit more brighter. Okay, hold on. Bring the brightness up to 60 and see if that works. I can't tell the difference. Kind of works. Alright, I'm going to try messing around with this then. It's such a small difference, I don't really need to change too much with it. Like, I probably could get like a nice purple color in the back here. Teal purple. I just figure out which shade I should go for. That's the difficulty here, is trying to figure that out. Is there a red I can go for? That's too red. Still too red, and that's too dark. Orange? It's too orange. Oh, that shade of orange looks kind of cool, though. Looks cool, but is that what I want? That's a good question. Oh yeah, that one actually looks better. Slightly duller. Works perfectly in this area. The only thing I'm not fully sure... I mean, most of that seems fine. If anything, I could probably just go on ahead and run over his body here with the yellow. But that's too gold, or too golden. I need more yellow. Mostly just stick it around this character's body here. There we go. I think that's all there is that we need to do right now. Can't really see anything else here that I can add to this, which I guess is fine. I just don't know when I plan on posting this. Tuesday, maybe? With this done, let me think. I gotta get Tales of Berseria recorded and played up. Tales of Berseria is gonna take 2 hours. Played up might only take an hour since I'm doing the turkey run. And then there's, of course, let me see here, for anything around, like, now, obviously, and that would be around, like, 8 as we get this. Well, I don't know if I plan on doing this just yet, because I'm probably going to have some other drawings and other stuff finished before that. Assuming if I do an art time episode. Yeah, I'll figure this out. If anything, actually, wait, hold on, before I fully finish this, I realized something here that I might want to adjust a little bit. Let me get rid of some of the sunlight around most of this area here. And let me try to... because you can't really see most of the sky. I guess that's also an... well, we can't see most of the sky in general. What does it matter if I shade it in? I mean, I could try shading it in and see if that makes a difference. But I don't think it's going to do much. If it does do anything, it's not going to be a whole lot. Well, it doesn't help if I erase it now, does it? What did I also erase before? Ah, that, right. Go to the sky, press O and not E, you fucking dumbass. You almost had that there, didn't you? I don't even know what that would have looked like in the transparent department, but it doesn't really matter. I can't tell. The sky looks slightly different. Slightly brighter up top, at least. The area that's supposed to be darker isn't that dark, but I guess that's fine. You can still see the buildings, the red lights, and all that stuff. Or the red light. Not an actual red light, need I mind you. It's a sign telling you this is the red light district. Anybody knows that. Well, maybe not anybody knows that. They see a traffic sign up there. Most people are probably going to be thinking, what the hell is this? Especially if you're not from around the area. But yeah, I think that's a nice, cool, unique way of telling you this is the red light district by having a traffic light sign that has a red light blaring with an explosive looking color. An explosive look of whom? Indubitably. Anyways, I think that's all. So with effects, without effects. With effects, without effects. Oh, the sky can get seen a little bit more if I remove some of the effects, though. Hold on. Now that I saw the sky, I kind of want to try to get the sky showing a little bit. So what do I need to get rid of? I don't want to get rid of the glowing aura around his head. So how do I plan on doing this without getting rid of the aura surrounding his head? And also, what's the reason behind this doing that? That is a different area. That does not matter. Is it the pink, the light blue? Nah, the blue is somewhat fine. Because the glow is behind him. If I were to get rid of the glow behind all of them, it wouldn't mean a difference. I think regardless, most of that kind of looks good as is. Just now it's not like bright yellow. You can see some blue back there. Blue-black there. Ugh. Freaking stumbling upon words. So annoying. But there we go, folks. And again, once this is done saving, kind of pointless to do this now, with effects, without effects. It takes ages to do this now because it's so fucking big. With effects, without effects. So there you go, folks. Whew, man. Alright, well that's all the time I have for today's episode. So with that being said, thank you all for watching today's episode of Art Time. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe for more, check out that there playlist, and of course, Previous episode of Art Time right over here, and depending on when this comes out, maybe a Tuesday, maybe not, we'll see. Most recent episode of maybe Sonic Adventures 2. Or if it comes out on a Wednesday or a Thursday, maybe, you'll see. Right there. Dealer's choice, later.